Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here today, and you should be too. And today we are going to cut this Intarsia preformed cabochon into its formed shape, I guess you would call it. Yeah, something like that. So if you didn't watch the other video on how I made this, zip back and watch it, because it's fun, and you should. Let's just take a quick look at this as a refresher, if we can get it to focus. There. Okay, what we've got is this cabochon. We have two pieces of claytonite, and some either granite or marbly material, and another piece of white marbly material put in the middle. And this was what we were going to use as the bottom, I believe. Yes. Yeah, this is the top, this is the bottom. On the top we had this nice calcite vein running through here. And, you know, we got a slight angle here, we got this in here, dividing these two dark pieces, and this one's even at a slight angle. And if anybody noticed that in the other video, I didn't care if it was at an angle, because we were just learning how to use the machine and seeing that it did work and not trying to do something absolutely precise. I mean, we could have calipered this as we did it, and, well, you understand, we weren't trying for absolute 90-degree squared perfectness. We were getting it together to make sure that it worked. So what we're going to do is, I got my templates. Oh gosh. Okay, sorry about that. I about knocked the camera off its stand. So we got the template here, and we're just going to do a simple oval today. And this is a nice set of templates that I got. We've got lots of ovals, and we have fatter opals? Yeah. Fatter ovals and thinner ovals, and I cannot talk worth crap today. You know, and these are not circles. These are actually all ovals. So let's put this on here and see which shape is going to give us probably the most stone coverage. So that one seems to work pretty good. I don't know if I want to, actually I think I'll zoom in on this a little bit. We've got this one as a possibility. And we also have this one as a possibility. Of course, that's going to be really tight to the edge. You lose a little bit on the length compared to this one here. But I think this one here might actually be the best of the bunch. And we can go with one of these, but it's a little bit thinner. Yep, I believe that's going to be the best one. I think that's a 20 millimeter. So we're going to put this on the top. So here's the top, 20 millimeter. And we could even go like this too. Like, how wonky do we want to make it? We could go this way. I think I'll just go with the split piece up the center, because why not? I do want to do something though. Whenever you make your marks on your template, it is inside of the line just a hair. So we might be able to get away with the 22 on that and see how far inside the line it is. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Just take a look at that. I may go over this with the marker, because this sometimes comes off, especially on these darker stones. It's hard to see, and I think I will do that. So I'm going to set this down again and try to find the marker of destiny, which is hiding. A Sharpie to put a better mark on that, and this Sharpie is getting wore down pretty bad from going over these stones. That's the only bad thing about using the Sharpies. They sometimes end up getting, the fine tipped Sharpies end up getting worn down fast when there's still ink left in them. But it's a small price to pay, I suppose. So this is what we got. Now what I am going to do is going to take this over to the big wheel, and I'm just going to get down pretty close to the edge of this line, and then we're going to take the hand-powered lap and we're going to square up the sides so you can see how that's done. So don't go away, I'll be right back, okay? Alrighty. Took this over onto the big wheel and got it right down to the edge, you know, right about where the lines are, but it's not quite on it. It's a little bit raggedy yet. So we're going to use, a machine to finish off the edge. And I don't have a wheel on there. Darn it. Okay, now we have the 180 grit on there. I'm going to bring this table right over there, and just to give you an idea, if I put this on here, it is falling right off into the abyss. At the bottom there, it is just ever so slightly not 90 degrees. Okay, I think you can see if I pull this out, tilt it just a little bit, it is ever so slightly not 90 degrees. But it is ever so slightly not that much that it's going to affect a whole lot when you're doing this. So I got these two pieces of metal here that I have been using as shims, and believe it or not, that takes this almost perfectly to 90 degrees to that wheel, which maybe you can see it. Yeah. When we did the other cabochon, or we did the making of this cabochon, you know, it didn't have to be completely 90 degrees, it just had to be flat. So what we're going to do is, and I hope maybe I can zoom in. I can zoom in and move this over. Okay. I'm going to take this right around there. This is loud. Maybe I'll do it. Oh, I got stuff flying off of everything today. The bolt flew off the handle. Okay, I think we got some better lighting here. Or worse lighting. The lighting is just terrible. Alright, this might work. So I can run that right along that. And that's giving me a nice flat side. You know, I can see this much better, unfortunately, than you can. But I hope you get the idea of what I'm getting at here. I can take this right along here and give me a very nice 90-degree angle or so. I don't really want it 90 degree. I'd rather have it about 15 degrees off. Maybe, well, not 15, maybe 5 to 10 degrees off, so that it gives the girdle a nice little angle for setting. Ooh, that's louder. I can just roll that stone right along there like this and bring that right down to our line. And what that does, gives us a very, very smooth edge. And it's even a little bit better than I can get on the cabbing machine wheel over there. Okay, just because, well, it's got a guide to go on. I'm very sorry about these shadows. It keeps slipping out of my fingers because I'm trying to keep them down enough that you can see with the camera. But I think you can get the idea that the idea how you can make this a very, very nice edge on there. Now, will I do this with all my cabochons? That's hard to say. Any of them that are really, really nice, you know, I might, if I know for sure it's going to be set into a setting, and I can get that edge nice. Let's take a look at it. Okay, we are, as you can see, you're right up, almost right up to the line. But the edge is very nice. The edge is very smooth. And it's darn near a 90-degree angle. I think we'll just leave this one at a 90-degree angle. Actually, it's a slight less than 90 degree, which is what we want. This side could use a little bit more. I'm just going to hit this edge real quick. And, you know, there's a quick visual on how you can get a very nice edge around your cabochon with this machine. You know, and you have this set up on the table when you're doing cabs. You can just easily jump back and forth or pre-cut a bunch of them into a rough shape and then take it on this and get yourself a really nice shape. So it's quite a versatile little machine. Focus. I think that's quite... And if I'd have been able to do this a little bit better without having to move my hand down here so you can see what's going on, I believe that would have been an excellent... You can get that even better than this, is what I'm getting at. So let's move this machine off. And remember, when you're done, spray off your wheel, especially at the edges. Give it a little wipe down, and she'll be ready for the next time. Okay. So actually, I'm going to make a girdle mark around this stone because I can. So let me just take the pencil and lay it on the side, see where it marks it at. And that's a little bit higher than I would want it. Actually, yeah, I probably want it. Actually, I think I'm going to let that girdle at that. Just to make it simple for today. So you got your pencil, and I'm going to make a girdle line. I'm not moving the pencil, I'm moving the stone around the pencil to give us a nice girdle line. I don't usually do this unless it's a really good stone. And then we have a girdle line. And the next thing is to take it over, and we are going to finish cabbing this up. So meet me at the wheel. Okay, water going, wheel going, cabochon ready to be going. And since we've got basically everything ready so far, we're just going to start on this girdle angle. I'm going to start cutting this down to that mark that we have on there. I'm going to be slightly gentle with it because it is glued together. Not that you have to baby the thing. You just want to be cautious. And plus this is pretty soft. I don't have to go nuts with it. Being a soft stone, it's going to cut fairly simply, fairly easily, let me put it that way. getting down. Get a slight angle going down to that girdle line. Just about there the whole way around. And I am there. I'm going to start taking this top down. A little higher on this side, over here. That is not going to hurt anything. I can go right across there quite easily. Like I said, these stones are very soft, so it does not take a lot to get them cut down. I don't know if I'm going to put a really high dome on this or not. Probably not. I'm going to take it down a little bit, depending on how it looks. Ooh, I don't like that sound. You can tell the different, slight difference in hardnesses of the stone when you're working across them. You get a funky sound sometimes. Sort of sounds hollow, but they're glued together pretty good, so you don't have to worry about that too badly. So it is still a slight concern. Okay, let's take a quick look at it. Focus. Now that it's wet, you can really see the difference in the three colors of the stone. I really like that calcite vein running across there. Okay, and I think we're pretty well shaped the way we want it. Yeah. Look down there, I can polish, well, refine the shape a little bit more on the other wheel, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to get some water. Oh, there it is. And it seems weird that I don't have to go across the girdle first, because that's usually what I do. I'm just going to put a little bit more finesse onto that dome before I put it on a stick. One thing I have found when dopping these things is when you dop it, after you take it off, if you're using glue, sometimes you put a good bit of force on there to knock your stone off, and you can possibly break a glue joint, which I have done. And that's not a good thing. You know, you don't want to be completely done with the stone and then have the a glue joint snap on you because you put too much force on it. Take a look. I think that's a nice combination. Yeah, and I think we're pretty much to the point that we need to put it on the dop stick now. I was going to think about doing this without a dop stick, but nah. We are going to go with the dop stick because we will get, I think, a much better job of it with the dop stick. Now, one quick final look before we hit it with the stick. And that's a really nice color combination. Two darks and a light. Alright, so we're going to come back to this wheel after I put this on the stick. Okay? Alrighty. Let's get everything going here. And we are on the stick, and we are out of focus. But yeah, there we are on the stick. And I am going to start by doing the sides a little bit. Got to do this girdle so we can get that all smoothed up, even though we did it on the other machine. has to be smoothied. Gotta do the smoothies. And I do like doing the girdle on that other machine. Even though it didn't look like I could while you were watching, if I don't have to worry about having my hands placed, I can get that a lot more even if I'm going with a template. So I'm working this dome down to get it nice and smooth. Let's give it a quick check. A little high on this side. So all we need to do is take that down a bit. And yeah, that seems pretty good. Just do need to soften that transition from the girdle into the dome. And the dome seems nice and even from what I can feel. And now we're going straight into the swirlies. The swirlies are my favorite part. Everybody has a favorite part of doing cabochons. And honestly, I think the favorite part for me is actually doing the cabochons. Because after they're done, they're done. They're beautiful, but I think that I like doing them more than anything. The creating part. And as you can see, yeah, that's a nice mixture of focus. Nice mixture of colors there. If it would stay in focus, that would be so much better. But let me give this a quick swirly yet. And then, yep. Then we can move over to the next wheel. And the next wheel is the wheel of the bad valve, which is living up to its name today. There's just something about creating beautiful things. Something that's just absolutely great. It's like a drive, a desire to make beauty. And when you can combine different colored stones into one, that can definitely be beautiful. As you can see, these stones are so soft that even on this 600 grit soft wheel, it starts leaving a little bit of slurry yuck behind. And doing these composite cabochons like this, you still do basically the same as you would with a regular stone of one particular type. If it's soft, you have to be gentle. If it's harder, you have to be gentle, but the techniques and the amount of time you spend changes a little bit. So focus. That's looking pretty nice. We get over to the desk, we'll take a good look at the seams and everything. Okay, focus on that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Definitely pretty good. I think we can go on to the next wheel. This is a 1200 grit wheel. I'd like to have a 1500 grit too, which would make things a lot nicer, especially for some stones. Some of the softer stones, you get a better job with a wheel than you do cerium oxide or or even the ZAM. You can go over them a lot more. It helps reduce undercutting, in my opinion. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, because we're not going to have to. Alrighty, so right there is what we got. And hopefully it looks that shiny once we hit it with the polish. So that's what we're going to do next. So meet me at the desk and we'll see what this thing looks like finished. Okay? Alright. I'm back. And let's take a good look at what we got. Now what I did was I hit this with cerium oxide. I wanted to try it out today. And actually it turned out pretty nice. But I noticed that what we do have, and let's see if it'll pick up. We have some cracks here. That's probably why that piece of stone was laying in the scrap bin as it was. You got a pretty good polish. There's a slight bit of faceting on these two stones. Not so much of any on this marble or the other piece of marble in there, but these two have a slight bit of undercutting. And, well, a little bit of fastening and a slight bit of undercutting. I'd say a slight bit of fastening and a little bit of undercutting. But what happened was I can feel the seam in here because the cerium oxide was cutting away at the joint, the glue joint. Okay, you can see the glue joint was not as tough as the, oh, there you can see it better. It was not as tough as the stone. So the cerium oxide wheel was cutting away at the glue joint. Now, this is not the fault of the machine that we glued, that we cut the stone with to glue it together. It's the fault of that cerium oxide pad is a hard pad, and I need a softer pad for these softer stones. And I think that would eliminate that issue. And I did the back of it on the flat lap up to like 500, or I think it was 1,000 grit sandpaper. And we got it nice and flat. And as you can see, the glue joints there are pretty good. But if the cerium oxide wouldn't be taking out the glue that comes right to the top of the stone, we wouldn't even have that little bit of a gap showing. So all in all, this is going the wrong direction. Yeah. This turned out to be a pretty decent stone. I actually do like the color scheme. The color scheme is, I think, it's pretty darn awesome. And even that little calcite vein whipping through there makes it nice. There's another nice calcite vein there. We did have a pretty out of focus, pretty good crack there. It was in that stone. This stone, that's why it was in the junk bin, because it had the crack right here, a crack there, and a crack there. But at least it held together. So all in all, I can honestly say that this stone here, for a cabochon stone, is a win. So if you like the video, hit the button, subscribe, do all that stuff that I forgot to say to do in the other video. And I will be back with more cabochons, more Intarsias, and probably more machines to make stuff. Because why not? So thanks for spending some time with me, and have a good evening.